We're not going to have a guest this week. We tried to get our neighbor, but he's not feeling well or scared. We don't know.
I'm just proud that he actually came down earlier.
While you were naked in the tanning bed?
But I was in the tanning bed and I had the garage shut. So he didn't come down. But he actually walked down here and stuff because I didn't think he would come in.
I didn't think he was coming either. What's up, y'all? We back. It's been a little while. I am your host, Aries, with
Nikki Marley.
And we're back with another weed and whiskey. And I guess we ain't done this a while. So whiskey of the week is Bib Tucker. Now that does sound like it is an old man who lives down the road to me, but
that's his nickname or something.
Yeah, his nickname is Bib. But Bib Tucker's a great whiskey. I like the chestnut flavor. It does have a little hint of vanilla in it as well. 92 proof, nothing too strong. It's great. I've enjoyed it. I'm gonna be drinking it this evening. So, Nikki, what are you doing over there? Remind the people what it is that you do over there.
Well, I usually have a blunt of choice. So yes, I am smoking on a blunt right now. And I'm sipping on a Diet Coke. My usual.
Diet Coke and blunt. Yeah. Morning is regular Coke and blunt.
Yes, it is. I have to have the sugar in the morning. And then, but blunt regardless.
All right. So since we haven't done a show in a while, and by the way, if we scream or something, we're watching the Thunder versus the Nuggets game 3, I think it is.
Yeah, game 3.
Yeah, so
it's been a really good game.
This I mean, barring a couple of games, this NBA playoffs has been very good. If you don't like the playoffs this year, you just don't like basketball. Just say that.
Yeah, because this is some awesome ball.
Pause.
Shut up.
Man, you over there feisty. You ain't did a show in 2 months and you just come back ready to fight.
You're in your pause.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with our behind the scenes. So let's start with March. Since our last show was in February, the month of March, what did we, I don't even remember what we did. What did we do?
March was kind of a whirlwind. It was both of our birthdays.
We got COVID.
We went to... my school had spring break, and so we went on a little trip to New Orleans for spring break, and then spent a couple of days in Pass Christian and the area down on the coast, and then came back, and I started back to school. And then it was, my birthday was over spring break, and then your birthday was shortly following that on the 28th. That kind of got us through March.
Man, you are giving the highlighted version. So yeah, we went to New Orleans for a few days, got COVID.
We did get COVID.
I thought I didn't have COVID.
He had COVID.
But I had COVID. I tested positive, and it's her fault. I will say that. I had no symptoms. This is my second time having COVID. The first time I could not move, and she can tell you.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was right after COVID came out.
You were one of the cool kids.
I was one of the cool. I got it first. I was one of the cool kids. Yeah. I had my COVID first, and I could not move. And movement is part of my life. I don't stop moving. And so it was 3 or 4 days of just being in the bed and having a hard time sitting up. This time I had 0 symptoms. In fact, she didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Throughout, and we just thought she had a cold or, something like that. Because it wasn't as bad as the first time you had COVID.
No, it wasn't. That first time that I had it, it was really bad.
And so... Not
as bad as yours, but it still sucked. But, and because I work around kids, I pick up all kinds of junk. So, it's just, that's why we thought it initially was just like a cold or sinuses or allergies or some bullshit. Because we live in the South, and the allergens have been extremely bad lately.
Yeah, trees have been working overtime. They just tree jizz everywhere.
Yeah, just everywhere.
So we got tests. She took her test. I didn't know. I went outside. I was smoking a cigar outside, and she came out there and said she was positive, and I was like, oh, well, crap. And so I went ahead and took a test just to be precautionary. I had no symptoms. I didn't feel bad. It was just pretty much what you would describe as asymptomatic. That's what I had. So being asymptomatic, I took the test, and I came up positive. And it wasn't like we had anything planned with lots of people or anything like that. We particularly stay to ourselves when we are there for a short amount of time. Now, we visit friends and things like that when we're going to be there a while, but it was a quick trip, so we didn't want to be seen by anybody, really.
I mean, it was just one of those things we kept to ourselves. We got back home, and he was fine, like, the whole time, just totally asymptomatic, and I felt like dirt, which, whatever, it's COVID. I don't say that like it was really bad for some people, but I mean, this time around it was not. It was just kind of like having a bad cold. So anyway, but then we both have had what they call long COVID effects with, of course, getting tired easy and all of that kind of stuff. And so anyway, and he's had that a lot more, I think, even than I have, just because he has felt the tiredness more than he would.
Yeah, I can't do the things that I normally do to the extent that I normally do them, and that has bothered me. So that was March. We have a new, by the way, this is a kind of a aside. We have a new enemy of the state as far as weed and whiskey goes. The most hated basketball player of our show right now is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Would you like to tell us why?
I don't like Shai. He gets on my nerves. I don't know.
She loves to pick guys that you wouldn't normally pick. Tim Duncan used to be her number one hated player ever.
Do not like Tim Duncan still to this day. So, whatever. Yeah. Our neighbor just left. Motorcycle background.
I almost paused it, but I was like, what was that? I thought I hit the wrong thing.
Nah, that'd be Sean leaving. So anyway, but I lost track.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, yeah, Shai. I don't know. There's just something about him that gets on my nerves.
Shai just hit the pull-up.
And, I mean, so I don't know. I'm not a fan.
All right, yeah. So April was work trip to Phoenix, prom, work. I can't think of anything else. Can you?
We lost Gabby.
Oh yeah, we had a dog die.
Yeah, one of our babies passed away. But yeah, April was kind of a blur, just because we were so busy. But yeah, he had a work trip to Phoenix for the company, and then our youngest daughter had prom with her and her little boyfriend.
Damn, he a little boyfriend now.
He's not. He's a very, very sweet young man, and we like him. So she's like me, and she's just kind of spicy, and so, but he just laughs her off, and they keep on going. So, but anyway, they looked great, and everybody had a good time, and all of that. So
yeah, and I missed it. I hated that I missed it, but we won't miss next year's senior year. We won't miss that.
No.
We kind of got the dates mixed up. I was thinking it was the end of the month, and turns out it wasn't.
Yeah, we both had the dates. I don't know why I thought it was when it was, but it wasn't. It was earlier, and he just happened to be gone. So anyway,
and then now, Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo, we did tequila. I think my brother was here, wasn't he? It wasn't just us. Our neighbor came down and
that was yesterday.
No, he's come twice. Pause.
Yeah, but Stephen was here yesterday.
Yeah, but he's been here more than once.
Oh, that's right.
I think Monday night was game.
I don't mean it like that.
Try to make it sound like my brother's a disease.
No, I don't mean it like that. But I mean, he just comes over. He enjoys being over here, and he likes to
bullshit with everybody.
Yeah, and claim our dogs and all that kind of stuff. So.
And the random wimp. I'm gonna leave that out.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't go there. Ooh,
I'm
messy.
I'm not, you right.
You messy.
You right. I'm messy.
Messy.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah. So I ain't gonna tell Steven you were messy, but
nah, please don't.
I won't, because you'll never hear the end of it. Neither will
ever for years.
It'll come back up all the time.
So that was that, and oldest daughter graduates with her master's tomorrow.
Yes.
Taking up our entire day. We ain't happy about that, but
oh well.
We are excited that she is getting her master's. She is on her way. The countdown has begun. I think she has a year left of actual school.
She does.
To get her doctorate, and then she has to work in a different location for a year. We were very proud of her.
So that should catch you up.
Ain't no way I could do it. So we're not gonna have a guest this week. We tried to get our neighbor,
not the workload.
He's haven't talked to her about what she has to do. It's just
I'm just proud that he actually came down.
In school.
Earlier.
I don't like school that much.
But I was in the bed and I had the garage,
which is kind of
odd
considering
he a teacher
didn't
come down.
Anyway,
But I didn't like school that much
down
here
and
stuff because
would
I
not
didn't
want
think
to
he
go
would
back.
come for
I
any
didn't
reason.
think
I
he was
hate having
coming
to
either.
do see.
I think he's
stuff,
more interested in the
anyway.
we are very novel individuals. I think
I think he thinks so.
Very interested in the novelty of the things that we do.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
With this being one of them. So, ready for the blunt topics?
Let's go.
All right, so blunt topics are 3 or 4 or maybe 5 stories that we just want to talk about, or things that have come up recently. In this case would be 2 months, and we can just kind of talk about them and share that with you guys, and you tell us what you think. We'll tell you what we think. So let's start with topic number 1. How do you go about setting up the threesome or the foursome in our case, or threesome in our case? It could be either one.
Right.
Basically, we know of people, and this is more geared towards swingers and things like that. We do not consider ourselves swingers, but I will say that we have.
Yeah, we have.
And we probably will again at some point, but
Probably.
the way, and I've had somebody ask me this before as well, but the way some people operate in the lifestyle, or so to speak, it's not conducive to me anyway. I have to get to know people. I have to spend some time. Like, it doesn't have to be 8, 9, 10 months, a year, but it feels weird for me to say as a guy. I can't walk in a room, meet a chick, in 30 years, 30
minutes later,
stick my dick in her mouth and start playing with her, and I just can't. That's not something that works for me. Now, I have done that.
Yes.
I just don't like it. And then right after that happened, we talked about it, and we were excited because that was really our first time. It was our introduction to just about everything, and it was great. Had a wonderful time, but I told her I could not do it like that again. So we're gonna go over kind of like what we would expect in setting up a threesome / foursome. Look at Jokic. So for us, the thing approaching us with it is fine. Don't do it the day of, don't do it, the weekend of. I don't feel like that's fair to anybody.
Yeah.
So I feel like for us, we probably would be more of being approached with the idea, something to the effect of, hey, I have somebody that might like to have a threesome with you, or, we can swap or whatever. But at that point, once we've exchanged photos and kind of agree that this person is attractive to us,
right?
Then there's a getting to know you stage, and it's not 30 minutes or an hour. For us, we talked about this. I think we feel like it would be good to have a couple of get-togethers. Doesn't have to be dates, or maybe we do go, have a date. We'll go have dinner together, or
meet for a drink, meet for coffee.
Yeah.
Just something
go listen to a band or something.
Where you have some introductions before you just show up and everybody's naked. Because that's kind of the way it was the last time.
Yeah.
We, showed up, and within like an hour,
it was very
later,
nice. It's like flips. The script just flipped so fast.
It did.
I even forgot about that part. We were talking whiskey, business.
Yeah, we were outside.
Each other,
we were
having a good time.
Smoking cigar. You guys were smoking cigars.
And it's like, now it's time to go to the bed.
They're like, all right, everybody ready to go to the bedroom? And we're like, what? It just kind of happened. And that was not what we expected. Like he said earlier, that was our first kind of jump off into things. And we took the nesty plunge, definitely, because it was interesting. But
it was fun.
It was fun.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but
no, it was great.
The optimal situation for us would be 2 or 3 get-togethers, drinks, dates. They come to the house, chill.
Right.
We get to know each other. Vibes got to be right.
Yeah, there's got to be some criteria that has to be met, and it's more than just the fact that you have a dick and whatever. It's just that's not the way it works. Now, for some people, that's totally how it works.
Yes,
they operate more on the swinging side of things, where it's not necessarily about getting to know somebody. It's strictly a sexual thing, and then you move on to the next.
But some people do have people that they swing with often at
true.
Clubs. But I would still say that that's how they met. That's how they started.
Well, yeah.
So it's like, hey, how you doing? I think your wife's hot. Oh, hey, yeah, I think your wife's hot. And that's it. I can't do that. That's not something I can physically do. Like, I'm gonna have to take some pills or something to just get and stay hard. Now, if I know the chick, we've had some conversations, we've talked, we've been out, we've had a good time, we vibing, yeah, we could probably do that a lot faster. So for us, that is you got anything else you want to add to that?
Well, yeah. For us, that's what works. Like I said.
Yeah, and we're not everybody.
No.
But
some people prefer it just totally, you go right on into it, and they prefer to keep it casual like that. They don't want to get to know people. It's more of a pleasure thing, and you get that pleasure fulfilled, and then you move on. And
I also think for us that we are in this for relationship, for friendship, right, to meet people, right, for community also. So that fulfills that part. Now the second time we do it, okay, just whatever. But with that person or those people, it's just really hard for us to just. And I don't think I'll ever do that again, where I just
not in that matter.
Yeah,
in that manner, the way it was. No, I
don't think we would.
No, that's just not us. So, but
go ahead.
Okay. I think that's probably
it for that.
Probably it for that.
All right. So, blunt topic number 2. At what point, if any, can the homie hit? Now, this goes along with some stuff that I've seen on Instagram, where it's a guy or girl says, it won't ruin your friendship to give your homeboy some head sometimes.
Right.
Stuff like that. So.
I agree with that.
Okay. That kind of.
I agree with that, because that It's almost like walking up and giving. I mean, I know this is going to be a stretch. Don't get me wrong.
This is where she goes off the deep end.
But it's one of those things that, like, to me, head is like kind of like just a hug, in a sense. I mean,
head is a hug.
Well, for your dick. I mean,
yeah.
But you don't want to you wouldn't do it with anybody, but we're talking about somebody that you know that's a good friend.
So let me give you the scenario.
Okay, go ahead.
So the scenario, I was putting my bib tucker down. So the scenario is, it's a long-term friend, somebody you've known for a while. It's not somebody you've known for a week or two. Bad things have been happening. They've had a rough week or month or something like that. And so, maybe you just give them some head. Mm-hmm. Or your homegirl's going through a breakup. She wants to come talk to you about it. And it's along the lines of those reels and those TikToks where the girl comes to the guy's house and he goes in the back with her. He puts his arm around her shoulder and takes her in the apartment or in the back. And next thing you hear is like that. Like that. I think that's valid. I think that's fair. I just, I feel like sometimes if somebody's having a bad day, maybe they do need some head. I need head every day. And I mean, if she wants to suck a dick to get over it, that's fine. If her husband, boyfriend, whatever, situation, because there's a lot of those now, situationships. Anyway, she mad at old boy. Dude, got caught cheating or whatever. I'm going to bring up the old Kanye. Give me some head. That'll really piss him off. I'm with it. I feel like we can help friends out, and I don't think it should make things weird. That's kind of how I feel. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. And I kind of thought we would talk about this a lot longer, but it seems like we kind of agree. I didn't think we would.
Well, no, I mean, like, for example,
I don't think giving the homie head or whatever is the same as a kiss on the cheek or anything.
Well, right.
We have had all the technical difficulties today.
Very much so. No, we were talking about
homie head.
Yeah.
And you were going to say something.
Oh, what I was going to say is, I have a friend right now that he, bless his heart, he's just had a hellacious week. Him and his wife are fighting, all this kind of stuff. And he was like, when we were just texting back and forth the other day, because I had checked on him because I could tell by the way he was posting some stuff that he was having a shitty day. And he was like, I just need somebody to give me some really good head. And I was like, dang, I'm sorry.
That's the bad signal for her.
But no, I mean, but I was like, I said, that would fix your whole day?
That fix
your week?
Everything.
And he was like, absolutely.
I mean, head is the proper answer for everything.
And so, I mean, I didn't say anything else. I was like, well, I hate that you're having such a bad day, and I just kind of changed the subject. But it was kind of one of those things where I was like, I mean, we've been friends for a couple of years, I mean, and it's just one of those that, I know his wife, I know his children, I mean, I know them. And so it's, and because I know them, I don't know that I would feel comfortable actually doing it, but it's one of those things where I would help him out because I wouldn't want him to continue to have a terrible day.
It's like a back scratch.
Yes.
An itch, if you will.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else you want to say about homie head?
Nah.
This is there such thing as homie ass?
I mean,
natural progression.
I mean, I don't know. No comment, I guess.
What do you mean, no comment?
Well, no, I mean, I just...
You are the most commentious person that I know, and
Now,
you just
I
like,
mean,
okay.
I don't think
So you
that-
giving homeboy homie head, and he just like, oh, I just need to, I need to feel it. Let me go run in my car real quick or something like that. Or, he wants some ass now. What do you do?
I
He
don't
already
know.
got his pants down.
I just think that it would have to have been. I'm not one to be like a.
You don't want to be surprised.
Yes.
And I agree with that. I agree. Whatever we gonna do,
I need to know about it
I
in
might
advance.
surprise you. Now, what if you surprise him with the head? He ain't expecting it. He coming to talk, and you hit him with the Glock Knock 4000 Swizzle Wizard.
No, I mean, but I feel like it's something. If it's going to go to that point, I feel like that's something that would have been
discussed. Yeah, to me, it for me to be comfortable to make this not awkward and weird from this point forward.
Right.
I need to know. I'm not against it, but I need to know what Hey, if I've been broken up with old boy and I'm feeling bad for this like the 5th week. Could you just come knock the dust off this pussy? I'd be like, yeah, I could do that. Let's do that on Saturday, Thursday after work, something like that. It can't be a run into them at the grocery store and then they trying to do you in the car. I'm not.
Right. This would be something that would be a previously arranged situation.
All of that to me feels like a setup. And I'm not with being set up.
Too, if you've discussed the friends with benefits kind of situation with homie head or whatever, that's something that I feel like you would have talked about anyway. So it could be an option.
Yeah.
Let's say you're just going to talk, but it could be.
Let's go out for drinks, and I just want to talk because this is, I've had a rough week.
Right. And now if you say, I just want to talk, but I still think it would have been something that would have been discussed.
I don't know. I think as a man, you are an anomaly. And I'll put it to you this way. I feel like a lot of men feel like even though you say, and they probably feel that they can just ask you and you'll do it. Like for me, for instance, I know you will do whatever I ask you to do, and I'm a nasty motherfucker.
Yeah. To both things.
But sometimes, as other guys don't believe that because they don't experience that in their everyday life.
Right.
You're like
I'm like a unicorn.
A movie.
But not a unicorn.
Or, yeah, you're like a chick in a movie or something like that. They always want to run up on one of them chicks that'll do whatever, but they still feel like they kind of got to finagle their way in. It's not like I got to say, hey, you know what? Can we go have a couple drinks, and then if it ends up with my dick in your throat, that's how it ends.
Right.
Because you would still show up and have the drinks, and if that happened, that happened.
Absolutely.
But they don't believe that. They hear it. They've heard you say it. They just don't believe it. And right. I think that's the biggest, especially with a lot of the guys are monogamous outside of our community that does what we do. They're monogamous. Yes. They don't really. Well, they're not monogamous. Let's put it that way. They're not monogamous, but they adhere to monogamy lifestyle.
Right. And for the most part, like these guys that I know, like most of them, they don't have like girlfriends that they see and shit like that. Like they really are, monogamous to their partner, to their wife. And, but so it's not like they're going to be running, the streets and shit like that. Like they got people lined up or anything.
No man has people lined up. Every man has people that will do it, but there's not a line. It's not like women. It's not. You have 36 motherfuckers in your phone right now that would take my place in 10 minutes. But they couldn't handle. You would have to be monogamous to them. They would not be able to handle
doing what we do.
Doing what you want.
No, not at all.
No. But I mean, I'm not saying that, maybe another girl's number is not 36. Maybe it's 12.
Right.
Maybe it's 19. But every woman has multiple guys that would smash in a heartbeat. And the conversation would go something like this. Phone would ring, pick up, and be like, man, you won't believe what he did. I can't believe it. I was like, oh, for real? Oh, just, you want to go out and have a drink? We can talk about it. That's kind of how it would happen. And then, this is my opportunity. I can get in there. It's time to hit the hole. That's how it is. Like, so a lot of guys, when you just tell them all you gotta do is ask or something like that, they don't get that. So, we good on that?
Yeah.
All right. Now we're gonna talk about throwback, something that some of y'all may not understand, may not have even heard of, but nights and weekends on cell phones. Let me break it down for you. So back in the day when cell phones first came out and you had the Sonys and the Nokias and the Razors, Motorola Razors, stuff like that, the T9 texting where you had to press a number of times to get a letter. They used to charge per text
10 cents.
10 cents per text message. So it wasn't like today where you can just text a trillion times. Also, phone calls cost a certain amount a minute. I think it was a quarter, 30 cents a minute, something like that. And so they would give you free nights and weekends. Night started at 9 p.m., which to me is not night. Night starts at like 8 or 7, but 9 p.m. And it would go to, I think I want to say 6.
Yeah, I believe it was 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
So if you, back in our era, if you wanted to talk, you could talk for free. So if people called you in the daytime, they were costing you money. And that used to piss people off. But this is in the era of landlines and shit like that. So when you had a landline, if you didn't call the house phone, I would get mad. I mean, because the house phone is $30 a month. You gonna call me on my cell phone? You used to call me on my cell phone. Anyway, yeah, but that was when all the conversation started. So if you were dirty macking, if you was trying to get some, if whatever was going on, you had to do that between after 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. Like 9:01, I didn't even trust 9 o'clock, but 9:01, it was free. And so that was something that I saw. I mentioned it to somebody, and they had no idea what nights and weekends were. What was your nights and weekends experience like as a young woman?
Well, I mean, like, they didn't really. I had my own landline.
Oh, you were rich.
So
okay.
It was one of those that...
My mama was on my phone.
It was one of those that I didn't necessarily have to have a cell phone. I had the cell phone, more for when I was in my car and stuff like that in case something happened. But, I mean, if somebody did call, I would be like, you're going to have to wait. You need to call my landline.
Call me at the landline.
Yeah,
Click.
because I could talk as much as I wanted on my landline because obviously it's right there in my room. But that cell phone was going to end up, and my mama would go through that bill and look at the texts and different things like that. And
yeah, because they had them typed out in the bill at that point.
You could see who they went to and all that kind of stuff.
What they said, all that.
Yeah.
Now you have to get like a
court
order or whatever.
You have to get a subpoena for that stuff.
You can get the number of who they text, but you can't get what was actually said.
Yeah,
without
no content.
It used to be just in the bill.
Yeah, it did.
So, yeah, nights and weekends. Shout out to nights and weekends. I kind of miss that era a little bit. I don't miss the bill, but I do miss like getting phone calls throughout the day from just any and everybody just bothers me. because one, I'm at work, so it's not like I can just answer. And it's always one of my homeboys or friends that's either truck driving or my parents who are retired or my aunt that's retired or, you know, somebody that doesn't have anything. I'm working. Like, I remember calling my mama at work. That was your ass. If the house wasn't burning down or something like that, yeah, you don't call her at work.
Didn't call your parents at work.
But they call me at work all the time.
Well, it's different. We're their children.
They don't care. All right. You ready for the horde decision? Yes. This is a doozy. Now, I'm going to preface this with, if you... this is a little sickening. I'm going to be honest with you. So if you want to skip ahead a few minutes, feel free. But I'm going to read the story. The title of the story will determine whether you want to listen or not. The time I fucked an 87-year-old. Here we go. My boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 20 female, are swingers. That is really early to be a swinger.
Very.
At like 20.
Very.
For her. For the guys, yeah, we swinging from birth. But, yeah. This happened last year at a swingers club. We were there talking to a few couples before we had a swap with one couple. And that's what they do. Again, see the previous story.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
On the way out, an older gentleman stopped us and flirted with me. He was 87 and said he had just had to have some fun with me. My boyfriend and I were tired, but arranged for him to come over the next night. He arrived, and we had some wine and flirted. He had taken some Viagra and was very hard for his age. He was probably about 8 inches, but quite thick. I don't know what that's like. My boyfriend sat in a chair in the corner of our living room and watched as the two of us made out and undressed. Let me stop right there. I used to think I could not do that. Like, that was the weirdest thing to me. Like, I'm going to go sit over here and watch you. I could totally do that now.
You like that?
Yeah, I'd sit in my chair right here, smoke my cigar, have my little bourbon, and watch. It's best TV there ever was. Now, 10 years ago, never in a million years. Dumbest shit I ever heard of. So back to the story. He was very passionate, and it was clear he was experienced. He ate my pussy until I had squirted orgasm. My boyfriend was so hard stroking his cock. Hate
Your
that
favorite word.
I hate that fucking word. I rode him on our sofa for about 30 minutes, passionately making out with him until I reached another orgasm. A short while later, he came in me, and it was so hot, his load dripped out. We had some fun a few more times until he unfortunately passed away a few months later. Still such a hot time to think back to. This girl has issues. I'm going to start with that. All right, horde decision. Now, the decision is not the old man, because if I'm 87 and you're going to let me fuck, I'm fucking. However, the couple... First of all, as the dude, what are you thinking?
Well, one, they are way too young to, I feel like, to be swingers. I feel like at 20 and 25, you've not lived. So I feel like...
I mean, they're walking on the wild side already.
I mean, yeah, like they've not... So anyway, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, and I guess it's because I have children that age, and it just seems strange to me, but whatever. But I don't know. It's not something that I would do. But to each their own.
So yeah, in my opinion, that is a little bit on the wild side. It's not something that I would imagine. I just want to say, ew. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I can't.
I want to throw up in my mouth a little bit. Shout out to old man. I mean, I don't blame you, bro. But however, he shot his shot. It went in apparently a few times, and that might be why he's dead now.
No, it said I guess it could be.
It said he passed away a few months ago.
Right, and said that they had met up since then.
Yeah.
Like prior to, obviously, him passing.
So, Papa was... Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
And she thinks about it very fondly. 8-inch girthy man. 87. Girth Brooks.
I'll pass on the 87-year-old. But
You didn't pass
no
on the
offense.
Girth Brooks. You wasn't passing on the Girth Brooks. Huh?
Oh, no, I'm not passing on that. I'm just passing on the age, just because I'm not interested in that old.
Papaw?
Yeah, in a man of that age. I'm just not.
Same here. Not interested in a man of that age either.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, shot for shot, and we're gonna wrap this up. So, shot for shot, would you rather? What does this say? Never mind. Let me start over. Would you rather only be able to have quickie sex, or only be able to have sex for an hour of foreplay?
Like that, I would only get one choice for the rest of my life.
Yes, quickie sex. I would assume quickies 10 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Which would probably work for you. Only be able to have sex with an hour of foreplay. So anytime you have sex, you're going to have foreplay for an hour. I think you enjoy that part.
I want that one.
You want that one?
Yeah, I don't want the quickie.
I want the hour of foreplay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an easy question. Right. I like to tinker.
Yeah.
And touch and feel and watch.
And I like to oblige you because I enjoy it as well.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You're so kind.
Yeah, well, you know.
Maybe you'll be kind after the show. Would you rather have a photo of your naked body displayed in an art gallery, or have a vivid description of your wildest sexual fantasy published in a magazine with your name attached to it?
Give me the art gallery.
You kind of have that in the bathroom.
Yeah, I do. I do.
We're a little different. A little different.
You know.
Would you rather watch porn with your partner or read erotica out loud to each other? I feel like... Okay, you answer first.
We do both. Honestly, we do both.
We do. But which would you prefer?
I mean, they're kind of equal to me, I guess.
I think the erotica would just be funny. We would just read.
And laugh.
Yeah, it'd just be a good time.
Which we watch porn and laugh.
Yeah.
So,
especially when they're staring at the damn
camera. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't stare.
Like, I'm not here for you, bruh. Quit looking at me.
And don't talk too much.
No, we gotta talk.
Not and sound stupid.
I mean, that's gonna happen.
I know.
That's a lot of money in the stupid soundingness.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a push. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like our first push.
Yeah.
Would you rather describe a sexual fantasy to someone else, or have someone describe their fantasy involving you to you? I think we're going to answer the same thing on this one. And if we don't, she's lying.
I don't know. Honestly. What do you think?
I'm going to go with the second one. I want to hear, excuse me, I want to hear the fantasy involving me. Like, what you trying to do to me?
Yeah. I'll take that.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to go with that. Yeah. You like that ego stroked pause. I mean, I do. As a dude, you like your ego stroke a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the last one. Would you rather watch strangers have sex or have strangers watch you have sex?
Oh, I don't care if people watch me.
Okay. But you don't care to watch strangers? I feel like if I had snacks, I could watch strangers.
Yeah, given the right, I guess.
I just always picture this as I'm walking, there's a door open in a hotel, and I'm walking by with a bag of pretzels, and I just walk by and I'm like,
whoa.
Whoa, what the fuck? Because I wouldn't be able, I got to cheer for somebody. Like, I want to see, I'd be like, beat it up, bruh, beat it up. No, don't you stop. Look at me. Keep eye contact. I'm trying to help you. You know, I'd do stuff like that. And I don't think they would be ready for that. I'm not going to just stand there chomping on pretzels at the door and watch. But yeah, I don't mind them watching me. I don't mind watching them. So
yeah, I mean, I've done both, so
yeah,
it doesn't really.
Done both at the same time.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, that is it for this week. We are going to be a little bit more regular now. But you can find the podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms, our Facebook page, Weed and Whiskey, and follow Nikki on Instagram at the Nikki Marley. Thank y'all for listening. We out of here. We finna watch the end of this game. It's tied, third quarter. Let's go.
Bye, y'all.